The big black car pulled up to the palace gates. Inside sat Prince William and Kate with their 3 children. They were the Cambridge family, but now people called them the Wales family. This was a big day for them. Cameras clicked as the car door opened. People from all over the world waited to see them. The family had become famous not just for being royal, but for the real moments they shared. Kate stepped out first. Her dress was blue like the sky. Her hair moved in the light wind. She smiled at the crowd. William came next. He was tall and looked like his father, King Charles. William put his hand on Kate's back in a gentle way. This small act made people on the internet talk for days. They loved seeing the royal couple show care for each other. Prince George, Princess Charlotte, and Prince Louis came out of the car one by one. George was the oldest. He would be king one day. He walked with his shoulders back like he had practiced. Charlotte had her hair in neat braids. She was known for being well-behaved, but also for giving funny looks that made people laugh. Louis was the youngest. He jumped out with energy. He could not stand still. The people watching took many pictures. These pictures would soon be all over social media. Fans of the royal family loved to share these moments. They talked about what the family wore. They talked about how the children acted. They talked about the way William and Kate looked at each other. The family walked toward the big doors. Guards stood on both sides. The guards wore red coats and tall black hats. They did not smile or move. The children looked at them with big eyes. Louis almost reached out to touch one guard's coat, but Charlotte stopped him with a look. Inside, more people waited to meet them. There were people in nice clothes. There were workers who ran the palace. There were even some other children who had won a special chance to meet the royal family. William and Kate made sure their children said hello to everyone. They taught them to be kind to all people, not just important ones. Kate bent down to talk to a little girl. The girl gave Kate flowers. Kate thanked her and asked her name. This was the kind of moment people loved to see. It showed that even though Kate was royal, she was also a normal mom who cared about children. William laughed with a group of men in suits. He had an easy way of talking to people. He did not act like he was better than them. This was why so many people liked him. He was a prince, but also seemed like someone you could talk to at a store or park. The family moved through the big room. Lights from the tall windows made the floor shine. The day was just starting. No one knew that by the end, they would make more special moments that would be seen by millions around the world. The family moved into the main hall. The ceiling went up so high it made even grown-ups feel small. Louis looked up with his mouth open. He pointed and said something that made his parents laugh. Someone took a picture at just that moment. It would be on the front of newspapers the next day. Kate kept her children close. She had a way of guiding them without seeming to boss them. A light touch on a shoulder. A soft word. The children knew what she wanted them to do. They had been taught how to act at royal events since they were very small. A man with a list came up to William. He told him what would happen next. There would be speeches. There would be music. The children would need to sit still for a long time. William nodded and looked at Kate. They had a way of talking without words. Just a look could say many things. The family sat in special chairs at the front. The chairs had gold on them and red seats. They were old chairs that kings and queens had sat in for hundreds of years. George ran his hand over the arm of his chair. He seemed to feel the weight of history. One day, he would be the one in charge. The music started. It came from a group of people with string tools like violins. The sound filled the big room. Charlotte closed her eyes for a moment. She loved music. She was learning to play piano like her mother. People who knew the family said Charlotte was most like Kate in many ways. Louis got bored fast. He started to swing his legs. He looked around at all the people. He made faces at a baby in the crowd. The baby laughed. More pictures were taken. Louis did not always follow the royal rules. This made people love him more. They called him the cheeky prince. William put his hand on Louis's knee to help him be still. He did not look mad. He understood it was hard for a young boy to sit quietly. William had been a boy in the royal family too. He knew what it felt like. He tried to be the kind of father he had wanted when he was small. Kate took something from her small bag. It was a tiny toy car. She gave it to Louis to keep his hands busy. She always came ready for her children's needs. People online called her a supermom. They said she made being royal and being normal work together well. The speeches started. Men and women in fine clothes talked about important things. They talked about helping people in need. They talked about saving the earth. These were causes the royal family cared about. William and Kate wanted their children to learn about helping others from a young age. George listened hard to the speeches. He seemed to understand even the big words. People who watched him said he was smart and serious. Charlotte looked at the speaker's shoes and dresses. She noticed the small things. Louis played with his toy car, but tried to be quiet. After an hour, the sitting part was done. Now the family would walk around and talk to people. This was the part they were good at. William and Kate had a gift for making people feel important. They remembered names. They asked good questions. They really listened to the answers. The children stayed with their parents at first. Then a group of other children came up. They had made cards for the royal family. Louis ran to see the cards. Charlotte followed more slowly. George stayed with his parents a bit longer before he went to make friends too. Now it was time for the family to go outside. The sun was bright after the dim palace. Kate put on her sunglasses. William blinked in the light. The children ran ahead down the steps. Guards moved to keep up with them. Outside was a garden party. Long tables had food and drinks. White tents gave shade. Flowers were planted in pretty rows. Music played from somewhere not seen. The royal family had hosted parties like this for many years. People waited in lines to meet William and Kate. The couple split up so they could talk to more people. They were good at this part of being royal. They knew how to make each person feel special for a few moments. Kate met an old woman who had worked in the palace for 50 years. The woman had tears in her eyes as she told Kate stories about the past. About Queen Elizabeth when she was young. About royal children who grew up to be kings and queens. Kate held the woman's hand as she talked. William talked to a group of men who had served in the army. William had been in the Air Force. He had flown helicopters to save people. The men treated him like one of them. Not like a prince, but like a fellow soldier. This made William stand taller. The children had their own small crowd. Other children wanted to play with the royal kids. At first, they stood back, not sure if they should. But Louis waved them over. Soon, they were all running on the grass. Charlotte taught them a game she had made up. George made sure the younger ones had turns. A photographer took pictures of the children playing. The royal family tried to keep their children out of too many pictures. They wanted them to have normal lives. But at big events like this, they knew there would be cameras. They had taught their children how to handle it. One little boy fell down while playing. He started to cry. Louis went to him first. He helped the boy up and brushed grass from his pants. Charlotte found the boy's mother. George got a worker to bring a cool cloth for the boy's knee. The 3 royal children worked together to help. People watching said this showed how well William and Kate had raised their children. They were not spoiled as some might think royal children would be. They were kind and helpful. They thought about others before themselves. Kate saw what her children did. She smiled at William. He nodded back. They were proud parents in that moment, not because their children were royal, but because they were good people. The garden party went on for hours. The sun moved across the sky. The air got cooler. Still, William and Kate talked to every person who waited to meet them. They never rushed. They never looked bored. This was their job, and they did it well. As the party ended, the family came back together. They stood for one last picture. William with his arm around Kate, George standing tall, Charlotte with perfect posture, Louis with his big smile, missing 2 front teeth. Behind them, the palace glowed in the late-day sun. This picture would be shared millions of times online. People would talk about how perfect they looked, how happy, how royal, but also how normal. The Cambridge family had a gift for these moments that made the whole world feel like they knew them. The next day, the family had another event to attend. This one was at a school. The school had just built a new playground. William and Kate were there to cut the ribbon. The children came too because William and Kate wanted them to meet children from all kinds of backgrounds. The car drove through London streets. People waved from the sidewalks. Some held up phones to take pictures. The royal children waved back through the windows. They had been taught to always be kind to the public. These were the people they would serve one day. At the school, hundreds of children waited in the yard. They jumped up and down with excitement. They held small flags with the British colors. When the royal family stepped out of the car, the children cheered so loud it hurt the ears. The school head teacher met them at the gate. She was a short woman with gray hair. She had been teaching for 30 years. Meeting the royal family made her hands shake, but William put her at ease with a joke. Kate told her that her school looked wonderful. The royal children went to a fancy school called Lambrook. It cost a lot of money to go there, but William and Kate wanted their children to know that all schools and all children were important. That is why they brought them on trips like this. First, there was the ribbon cutting. The big red ribbon stretched across the playground entrance. The head teacher gave William huge scissors. He let each of his children hold the scissors with him. Together, they cut the ribbon. Everyone clapped and cheered. Then the best part happened. The royal children got to play with the school children. At first, everyone was shy. The school children stood back. The royal children waited. But then Louis ran to the slide. He went down with a loud laugh. After that, all the children mixed together. Kate and William watched from the side. They talked with teachers and parents. Kate asked about how the school helped children who had trouble learning. William asked about sports programs. They cared about education because they knew it changed lives. The little girl came up to Kate. She had a drawing she had made. It showed the royal family as stick people. Kate got down on her knees to be at the girl's level. She told the girl that the drawing was the best she had ever seen. The girl beamed with pride. A boy asked William if he played video games. William said yes, but not as much as he would like. He said George was getting better than him at racing games. The boy thought this was very funny. A prince who played video games just like him. The royal children made friends fast. George played football with some older boys. He was good at sports. People said he got that from his father. Charlotte joined a group of girls doing handstands. She could hold her handstand longer than anyone. Louis ran everywhere. He tried every part of the new playground. Someone took a video of Louis going down the slide head first. He came up with his hair standing up and a huge smile. The video went online, and soon millions had seen it. People loved Louis because he was so full of life, so real, so much like any other happy little boy. After an hour of play, it was time for a tea party. Long tables had been set up with cakes and sandwiches. The royal family sat with the children, not at a special table but mixed in. George between 2 boys he had played football with. Charlotte with her new handstand friends. Louis still running around, stopping only to grab cookies as he passed. The next viral moment happened when the family went to a farm. It was a working farm that made food and taught people about where food comes from. William and Kate thought it was important for their children to understand all parts of their country, not just fancy palaces. The family dressed in simple clothes for the farm visit. Jeans and boots. Warm coats because the day was cool. They looked like any family on a day out, except for the guards who stayed close by, and the photographers who took pictures of every move. The farmer met them by the gate. He was a big man with a red face from working outside. He had owned the farm for 20 years. He seemed a bit nervous to meet royalty. But William put him at ease by asking good questions about the farm right away. First, they went to see the animals. There were cows in the barn. The cows were black and white. They mooed loudly when people came in. Louis held his ears and made a face. This made everyone laugh. Charlotte went right up to a cow and patted its nose. She had no fear. The farmer showed them how to milk a cow by hand. Kate tried first. She was not very good at it. The milk came out in tiny drops. William teased her about it. She laughed and told him to try. His try was even worse. No milk came out at all. The farmer had to show them again. George took a turn and did well. The milk went into the bucket in a steady stream. The farmer said George had natural talent. George looked proud. He liked being good at things. Being the oldest, he often felt he had to set an example. Then they all got to feed baby lambs. The lambs were small and white. They had black faces and legs. Each royal child held a bottle. The lambs sucked the milk fast. Louis got so excited he almost fell over when his lamb pushed against the bottle. A worker caught him just in time. Pictures of the children feeding the lambs went online. People loved seeing the royal children doing normal things. The pictures got shared thousands of times. People said the children looked so happy and free on the farm. After the animals, they went to see the crops. The farmer grew wheat and corn and vegetables. He showed the family how seeds get planted. He let the children plant some seeds in a special box they could take home. Louis put in too many seeds. Charlotte arranged hers in a neat row. George asked questions about how long until the seeds would grow. Kate always made sure her children said thank you. After each new thing they did on the farm, she reminded them to thank the person who had helped them. The children never forgot. They had good manners. This made people respect Kate as a mother. For lunch, they ate food grown on the farm. Fresh bread, cheese from the cow's milk, vegetables just picked that morning. William said it was the best lunch he had had in a long time. The farmer looked very pleased to hear this from a prince. Before they left, the family planted a tree. It was a small oak tree. The farmer said it would grow for hundreds of years. Long after all of them were gone, the tree would still be there. William said that was a nice thought, that they could leave something that would last. Each family member took a turn with the shovel. They each put some dirt around the tree. Then they all patted the dirt down together. A photographer caught this moment. The whole family with their hands on the earth, working together. This picture would become one of the most shared royal images of the year. The weekend brought a special treat for royal fans. The family went to a polo match. William was playing in the match. He had played polo since he was young. It was a sport that many royal men enjoyed. Kate brought the children to watch their father play. The day was warm and sunny, perfect for an outdoor event. Kate wore a summer dress with small flowers on it. She had on big sunglasses and a hat to block the sun. The children wore light clothes too. George in a shirt that looked like his father's. Charlotte in a pretty dress. Louis in shorts and a shirt with boats on it. Many rich and famous people were at the polo match. Movie stars, business leaders, other royals from around the world. But most eyes were on the Cambridge family. People wanted to see how they acted when they were having fun. The match started. Men on horses hit a small white ball with long sticks. The horses ran very fast. Dust flew up from their hooves. It was exciting to watch. The children cheered when their father hit the ball. Kate clapped and called out his name. During breaks in the match, the children played on the grass. They rolled down a small hill. They did cartwheels. Louis tried to copy his older siblings, but his cartwheels were more like tumbles. He laughed each time he fell. Nothing seemed to upset him. Kate talked with other women at the match. They were wives of other players. Kate fit in easily. She did not act like she was better than them because she was royal. She laughed at their jokes. She asked about their children. They treated her like any other mom. When the match ended, William's team had won. He was hot and dusty from playing hard. His hair was wet with sweat. He looked like a sports player, not a prince. The children ran to him. He picked up Louis and swung him around. Charlotte hugged his legs. George gave him a high five. Kate went to William too. Here came the moment that would go viral. In front of everyone, Kate gave William a kiss. It was just a quick kiss. But royal couples did not often show such love in public. Cameras caught it. Within hours, the picture was everywhere online. People loved seeing this real moment between the couple. They said it showed that after years of marriage and 3 children, William and Kate were still in love. That even with all the pressure of royal life, they had kept their bond strong. After the kiss, Kate handed William a trophy for winning the match. She was smiling so wide, proud of him, not as a prince, but as her husband. The children clapped and jumped up and down. Louis tried to grab the trophy, making everyone laugh. The family had a picnic on the grass after the match. They sat on a blanket. They ate sandwiches and fruit. They drank from water bottles like any family. But people could not stop watching them, could not stop taking pictures. Every normal thing they did seemed special because they were royal. As the day ended, William carried a sleepy Louis to the car. The boy's head rested on his father's shoulder. His eyes were closing. Charlotte walked holding Kate's hand. George walked on his own, looking grown up. The family left as they had come, together, happy, real. The next big moment came at a music concert. It was a special concert for a charity that Kate worked with. The charity helped children who were sick. It raised money for hospitals. Many famous singers would perform. The royal family had front row seats. It was a night event. The children were allowed to stay up late for it. They wore nicer clothes than usual. George in a suit like his father. Charlotte in a sparkly dress. Even Louis had a small suit on. He kept pulling at the collar. He was not used to such formal clothes. The concert hall was huge. Thousands of people filled the seats. When the royal family walked in, everyone stood up. They clapped as the family made their way to their seats. The children looked a bit shy with so many eyes on them. Kate kept them close. The first singer was a woman with a beautiful voice. She sang a song about hope. The crowd was very quiet as she sang. When she finished, everyone clapped loudly. Charlotte clapped so hard her hands must have hurt. She loved music and singing. Between songs, William explained to the children about the charity. He told them how the money from the concert would help sick children. George asked serious questions. He wanted to understand. This was part of teaching him about the work he would do one day. Louis got wiggly after a while. It was hard for a young boy to sit still for so long. Kate had brought a small bag of quiet toys. She gave Louis a toy car to play with. He made car noises under his breath. William put a finger to his lips to remind him to be quiet. Louis tried his best. A famous pop group came on stage next. They played music that was loud and fun. People stood up to dance. The royal family stood too. Here came another viral moment. William and Kate danced with their children. They moved to the music. They held the children's hands and twirled them around. Someone took a video of the dancing. In the video, Louis was jumping up and down. Charlotte was twirling in perfect circles. George was moving side to side, a bit more careful but still having fun. Kate was laughing. William was singing along to the song. The video went online that same night. By morning, millions had seen it. People loved seeing the royal family let loose. They said it showed that William and Kate were modern parents, that they let their children enjoy normal fun things, that they were not too serious all the time. After the concert, the family went backstage to meet the singers. The singers were excited to meet royalty. They bowed and called them Your Royal Highness, but William and Kate were friendly. They thanked the singers for helping the charity. They asked for pictures together. Charlotte asked one singer how she hit the very high notes. The singer showed her how to breathe right. Charlotte tried it. She hit a high note that made everyone clap. The singer said Charlotte had a natural talent. Kate said Charlotte practiced singing in the shower every day. Louis asked the drummer if he could try the drums. The drummer let him sit on the drum stool. Louis hit the drums with the sticks. He was good at keeping a beat. The drummer looked surprised. He said Louis was a natural drummer. William laughed and said their house was always noisy because of Louis. The night ended late. The children were tired but happy. In the car on the way home, Louis fell asleep. His head rested on Charlotte's shoulder. She put her arm around him. George looked out the window at the city lights. William and Kate held hands in the front seat. Another perfect royal family moment. The most talked about royal moment came when the family took a vacation at the beach. They went to a quiet beach where they could have privacy. But someone with a long camera lens took pictures from far away. The pictures showed the family having a very normal beach day. In the pictures, the family wore beach clothes. William in swim shorts, Kate in a swimsuit with a cover-up, the children in colorful beach clothes. They had brought all the normal beach things: towels, a big umbrella, buckets and spades for making sandcastles, a cool box with drinks and snacks. The first picture showed them setting up their spot on the beach. William put up the umbrella. Kate laid out towels. The children ran straight to the water. They jumped and splashed in the small waves. They looked so happy to be free from royal duties for a day. Many people were surprised that the royal family set up their own beach spot. They thought royals would have workers do everything for them. But William and Kate tried to do normal things themselves when they could. They wanted their children to know how to do things too. The next pictures showed the family playing in the sand. They were building a huge sand castle. All five worked on it together. William dug a moat around it. Kate helped shape the towers. George made walls. Charlotte added small shells for windows. Louis kept bringing buckets of wet sand. Other pictures showed the family in the water. William held Louis on his shoulders. Kate and Charlotte jumped over waves together. George tried to body surf on a small wave. They splashed each other. They laughed. They looked like any happy family at the beach. One picture became the most shared of all. It showed William and Kate sitting on their towels watching the children play. They were sitting close together. Kate's head rested on William's shoulder. His arm was around her. They looked so at peace, so in love still after all their years together. People online could not stop talking about the beach pictures. They said the images showed that under the royal titles were just a normal family. A husband and wife who loved each other. Parents who enjoyed their children. Children who were being raised with love and fun. Some people did not like that the pictures were taken without the family knowing. They said the royal family should have privacy on vacation. But others said that as public figures, the family would always be of interest. That these real moments helped people feel connected to them. After the beach, the family went for ice cream. They stood in line like everyone else. They did not ask for special treatment. The children got cones with 2 scoops each. Ice cream dripped down Louis's arm. Kate wiped it with a napkin. Charlotte's ice cream had sprinkles. George got chocolate. William and Kate shared a cone. Someone at the ice cream shop took a picture. This one the family knew about. They smiled for it. The shop owner put the picture on the wall with other customer photos. Later, people would come to the shop just to see the picture of the royal family eating ice cream. The beach day showed why people loved the Cambridge family so much. They lived in 2 worlds. The royal world of palaces and formal events, and the normal world of beach days and ice cream. They seemed to move between the worlds with ease. They brought the best of normal life into their royal duties. The last big viral moment of the summer came at a garden party at the palace. It was a party for children from all over the country. Children who had done brave things. Children who had helped others. Children who had faced hard times. The royal family hosted them for a day of fun. The palace gardens were turned into a playground. There were bouncy castles, game stands, food carts with treats, a small stage for shows, balloons tied to every tree. It looked magical. The royal children helped plan some of the fun. They wanted to make sure other children would have a good time. When the guest children arrived, they were shy at first. They looked at the palace with big eyes. They stood close to their parents, but the royal children came out to meet them. George shook hands like a grown-up. Charlotte showed girls her favorite garden spots. Louis just ran up and asked kids to play. Soon, everyone was having fun. Kate and William did not just watch. They joined in the games. William played football with a group of boys. He let them score goals against him. He cheered when they won. Kate helped at the face painting stand. She painted butterflies and stars on small faces. The children could not believe a princess was painting their faces. The royal children showed their best selves that day. They did not act better than the other children. They shared all their toys. They made sure no child was left out. George spent time with a boy in a wheelchair. He pushed him around to all the games. Charlotte made friends with a girl who was very shy. She held her hand and helped her feel brave. Louis made everyone laugh with his silly dances. The most special part was when the royal family served lunch. They did not sit at a special table. They helped hand out food to all the children. They carried trays of sandwiches and fruit. They poured drinks. They asked children if they needed anything. It was a lesson in service that the royal children would remember. After lunch, there was a show. Children from a dance school performed. Then a magic man did tricks. The royal family sat with all the children to watch. Louis clapped so hard for the magic tricks. He could not believe his eyes when the man made things disappear. Charlotte watched the dancers with careful eyes. She was taking mental notes for her own dancing. The last event was a group picture. All the children stood together. The royal family in the middle. Just before the camera clicked, Louis made a funny face. All the children saw and started laughing. The photographer caught the moment of real joy. Not a perfect posed picture, but a real one full of happiness. That night, the palace shared the picture online. It went viral in minutes. People loved seeing the royal family bring joy to children who had been through hard times. They loved that the royal children were learning to serve others even at their young age. They loved that Louis could make everyone laugh with just a silly face. As the garden party ended, each child got a gift bag to take home. Inside was a small picture frame with the palace on it, a book about being brave, some sweets, and a note from the royal family. The note was signed by all 5 of them. Even Louis had done his best to write his name. The children left happy. They had stories they would tell for years. About the day they played with princes and a princess. About how normal and nice the royal family was. These stories would spread, from child to parent, from friend to friend, creating a picture of a royal family that was both grand and down to earth, special but also just like everyone else. This was the magic of the Cambridge family. They could be royal in all the ways that mattered, but they could also be real. And in being real, they connected with people in a way that no perfect royal family ever could. Retroclaude can make mistakes. Please double-check responses.